Welcome to Grandma Dorothy's Kitchen. I got a real good one for you today. We're continuing our holiday series with the Dorothy's. Today we're going to show you how to make two types of macaroni and cheese. Mac and cheese. I'm going to make the Mississippi style.
And I'm going to be making the cheese sauce style. The Mississippi style is custard mac and cheese. And I'm going to be making a cheese sauce mac and cheese.
So you're going to use, first thing you're going to do, this is 1 pound of large elbow macaroni. I like the large elbow macaroni because I just like the way it looks, and I like the fact that it's so big when it's cooked. The cheese can get down in the macaroni, and I just love that. Okay, and I never cook macaroni and cheese without at least 3 cheeses. Sometimes I make 4 or 5 cheeses. It's never too many cheeses you can use with it. And so you're gonna need your cheeses, and we grated the cheeses. Well, Miss D grated them. She grated
Straight
all
old
of
school.
Straight old school.
No bag cheese.
And so
it melts better.
It melts better. And see, what happens is when I'm making tacos and stuff like that, I get the cheeses that's already in a bag that's already grated. But for mac and cheese I want to grate the cheese myself because it really makes a difference, and it makes your macaroni and cheese taste better. Okay, you're gonna need your cheeses.
You just put the love in it. It has the love.
It has love in it. That's right. So remember your preference for cheese, but I always use Monterey Jack, and I love the cheddar cheese, and I love mozzarella. So it's your preference, but those are the 3 cheeses that I really love the best. I love the way it tastes. Okay, this is 1/3 cup of sugar. This is a seasoning sauce, a tablespoon of seasoning sauce. This is a tablespoon of garlic salt. This is a teaspoon of white pepper. This is white pepper instead of black pepper. Okay, all right. And this is 4 eggs. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna pour it so it can be all over the mac and cheese.
Evenly dispersed.
Evenly dispersed. Okay.
So this is one of the big difference with the custard mac and cheese and the cheese sauce mac and cheese is that this mac and cheese here, the eggs is what makes the custard.
Right.
The eggs is what makes the mac and cheese. So that's why, what do you say, Grandma?
Don't be skimpy on your eggs.
Don't be skimpy on your eggs, because it's what's going to give the body and the fluffiness. That's why sometimes when you have the baked mac and cheese, it's so heavy and dense.
Yeah.
The eggs make it light and fluffy.
Fluffy, that's right. And my grandkids, they love this. They love this macaroni and cheese. And sometimes if I cut the eggs short, Grandmama, you was skimpy on the eggs. I said, dang.
Yeah, she can't cheat us.
They know.
Yeah.
You didn't put it in my Grandmama, you was skimpy. And so it's very important. Okay, all right. Don't be skimpy on your eggs. Okay. And the sugar cuts the the strongness of the cheeses. So
it's not so harsh.
It's not so harsh. Okay. Now listen. When you're making your macaroni, you make it according to the direction on the box. It's very easy, very simple. Takes about 8 minutes to cook a pound of macaroni, and you let it cool. Make sure they cool, because you do not want to fry your eggs when you put the eggs in there. You want the eggs to so you let the after it cooks, you can strain it and put your butter in. And for this, I put a stick of butter. You can put your butter in and let it cool completely before you start adding your other ingredients. And the cheeses is a cup of each one, but we're only going to put a half a cup now because we're going to use the other cup, half a cup, for the topping and for in between. Because sometimes we make layers of mac, okay, and cheese, okay? All right, so stir this together. All right, we're gonna put another, this is gonna be a half a cup, okay? All right. Okay, we'll be back to assemble this. And remember, if you have some leftover, you can use a container and you can put it in the refrigerator, and then the next day or the day after, it'll stay in the refrigerator for a couple of days, and you can bake the other. You don't have to bake it all at one time if you don't have a need to. You see? Say for instance, if it's only 2 of you all and you got this 4 people recipe where you can save half and use it later. Welcome back. Now see, we're gonna spray our dish that we're gonna bake it in, okay? And remember, everything is cooked, so you don't really have to bake it no more than between 40 and 45 minutes. It's very fast, okay? And so I'm going to put my cheeses in, my mac and cheese, okay? So put a little bit more. And see, remember I told you can a little bit more. And now we're going to top it. And if you have a bigger one, you can put half in, and then you can use some of the cheese, and then you can put more noodles, and then you can use the cheese. Okay. We got our oven on 350. We're gonna spray our pan, our aluminum foil, so that it won't stick, so that the top won't stick, you know. Okay. But always remember, always put a lid on your mac and cheese. You want to keep it nice and moist, and don't taste dried out. Okay. Don't cook it without a lid on top. If you don't have a lid, use aluminum foil. All right? We're going to put it in the oven for about 45 minutes. Welcome back.
While we're waiting for Grandma's mac and cheese to bake, so we are going to start with my mac and cheese with the cheese sauce while Grandma's is in the oven. So what I have is a tablespoon of seasoning salt, tablespoon of garlic salt, Lori's, half a teaspoon of white pepper, and a 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. Remember, the sugar is going to cut the cut the harshness out of any sauce, but especially the cheese sauce. It's gonna give it, it's not gonna taste sweet, it's gonna taste perfect. Mm-hmm. And I have a 1/4 of a cup of flour, 1/4 of a cup of oil, and that's gonna be for our roux. I have a carton of Hep V whipping cream and our 3 cheeses. As you can see, I have basically the same spices as Grandma Dorothy because I'm Mississippi raised, bred and fed. I gotta use it. Even though I switch it up, the spices are gonna be the same, okay? The flavor is there.
That's right.
Okay, so come to the stove.
Back.
Okay, so we are now going to start what we call our roux, which is equal parts, and I already told you guys, so we're gonna do 1/4 a cup of oil, And the same for the flour. And we are just going to whisk it. Let it get all the lumps out. Let it cook a little bit. So you guys seen it's a little different because grandma's, you don't need a sauce because it's gonna make its own sauce in the oven, and it's gonna kind of congeal in the oven with those eggs. Mine's, on the other hand, I'm gonna make the exact consistency that we get here is gonna be the consistency it is when we take it out the oven. Now we're gonna add that heavy cream, and we want to get it all because we paid for it.
That's right. Get it all out. Get it all out.
And we are just going to mix our money maker. Okay. And we're just gonna let this tighten up. So we're probably gonna let it go slow for about 2 to 3 minutes. Let it come to a boil so that it can start to tighten up and the roux can catch on to the liquid and give us that desired consistency that we want. And then we'll start to add our cheeses. So yeah, so now we're back after a couple of minutes, and you see now look how thick it is. And now it's gonna get even thicker because we're gonna take a cup, half a cup out of each cup of our cheeses. That's our cheddar, our pepper jack, and our mozzarella. I love the mozzarella, so I'm gonna go a little over. I'm gonna go a little crazy. And you see, so the cheese is just going to melt in there. And then we're gonna take our spices. We want it all.
That's right.
We're gonna take all of our spices and we're gonna just mix it. I usually would use a whisk because I love a good whisk. That whisk will get it in. Oh, but you see that pool? Do you see the cheesy ooey gooey? You wanted ooey gooey, baby. Ooey gooey, guys. Woo, I can't even let it go. But yes, that's how you want your cheese sauce. And now I'm just gonna whisk it so it's smooth and well incorporated. And then we're gonna take this back to the noodles, let it cook for about 2 minutes, and take it back to the noodles and get it right poured over onto our macaroni elbows. And I'll be back to show you how to assemble.
Welcome back.
So now that we have our ooey gooey cheese sauce, that's what we're gonna call this, that ooey gooey cheese sauce. Now we're gonna do the same thing and we're gonna assemble just like Grandma Daffy. Now, ooh, do you see the pour? Remember, we want it all because we paid for it all.
That's right.
I don't want to leave none of that. And see, you can still make a baked mac and cheese with a mean cheese sauce. So you can either do it custard or you can do it saucy. And you see, you want all your noodles just to be coated in the sauce. And we got those same ingredients, just a different method. And you see, I like mine's tight, but if you guys like it looser, be my guest. Add more whipping cream, add more milk, add whatever is to your liking. But I like my cheese to congeal to the noodles. And this is gonna be the same consistency when it comes out. You see that? Now, we're gonna transfer some of it over. Let me spray my pan. You don't want it to stick now. get that over there. Yes. If your mac and cheese don't make that sound, macaroni in the pot. Okay? We want this to be ooey gooey and delicious.
That's right.
So now we made our first pan with our mixture, and we're gonna take the remainder of our cheese and put it right over the top. That pepper jack always is gonna give you a kick. So if you're not a fan of the kick, or you just want it classic and subtle, it's your preference. Like Grandma says, this is the same love. I had to grate this cheese the old-fashioned way, but listen, you guys can now, they do sell in stores the off-the-block cheese in a bag. They charge you for it, but they do have it. So I could get new school, but when I'm at Grandma's, we gotta whip out that cheese grater. We got to. Okay, and now we're just gonna cover this and put it in the oven at 350 for all our stuff is done. No eggs, so until the cheese melts. That can be anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. We'll be back to show you what it looks like. There you have it. Mac and cheese. Mine is the cheese sauce.
Mac and cheese straight out of Mississippi.
Custard mac and cheese.
Custard mac and cheese.
With the eggs, without the eggs.
Yes.
Now let's do a taste test.
Let's do a taste test.
Ooh, ooey gooey. You see it? Macaroni in the pot. Ooey gooey. You see?
Look at that.
Gooey.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at the pull. You want your cheese to pull. If it's not pulling, it's not right.
That's right.
Now let's taste it and tell you what it tastes like. That's mac and cheese.
This is mac and cheese.
Love it, Grandma?
Love it. Straight out of Mississippi.
Straight out of Mississippi.
Remember to tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your co-workers to subscribe to Grandma Doctor's Kitchen, okay?
Like this video if you like it, because you're going to love this mac and cheese. Double tap.
Delicious.
Happy eating.
Oh. It's the bloopers. Hold on, okay, one, two, 3. Happy eating to you from the Dotties. So, my grandma is very old school, especially when it comes to grating this block cheese. I mean, it is the best melter on the block. But this is the true old-fashioned way. You gotta grate the cheese.